What's going on, everyone? Welcome to another episode of the Take 3 podcast. We're back here Friday evening on the eve of the Wildcard Weekend. Kind of nothing really major went on last week, so we didn't really factor in, there's not really much that went into making a recap of what happened in Week 18. I mean, I guess the big thing that we could really, just sum up is the Packers and Aaron Rodgers failing to get the job done at home. I rode with them. I had them in the spreads. I really thought, right, I was like, everything aligns. The NFL will save them if they need to. They're going to want Aaron Rodgers in. They're going to want to send him out to the West Coast, have him have a homecoming game. Even if he loses that, having Aaron Rodgers in the playoffs for ratings is a big thing. But they failed. I mean, so just before we even dive into wildcard real quick, I mean, do you think that could be the last game Aaron Rodgers plays for the Packers? Do you think he'll kind of seek his way out? It kind of felt like that after the game when he wanted to keep the jersey and kind of made that long nostalgic walk that everybody saw out of Lambeau Field. It was like, I don't know, man, is he going to do it? I heard earlier today, though, Ian Rappaport that reported that when he signed that big extension last year was more of a 2 to 3 year commitment as under what the Packers thought when he signed that. But obviously, I mean, he has full control to really do whatever he wants. If he don't want to play there, he'll be moved. He'll probably have to get back bonus money. But I mean, what do you make of that? Packers coming up short, obviously gets the Seahawks into the playoffs. And yeah, so what do you make of that? Is it Aaron Rodgers' last game in a Green Bay Packers uniform? You think he's back there next year?
That's a really, really tough question to answer because, like, good luck reading Aaron Rodgers. I mean, I feel like he's going to change his mind a few times. And definitely, like, if you look at like all the tea leaves and everything that you kind of pointed out, it definitely feels like it's his last game in Green Bay. Like you said, wanting to keep the jersey. There's all this talk. I think if we look back at the beginning of his career, he sat for I think 2 years or 3 years, and then they got rid of Brett, and then they just played Aaron anyway. I think they're about at the same timetable with Jordan Love right now, which I still think they should have rolled him out the second half of this year, so they would have had a better idea. But is what it is. I mean, I can't really. I'm just going to speculate. I'm going to say that was his last game as a Packer, and is that his last game playing in the NFL? Probably not. But like with anything that comes with Aaron Rodgers, like I don't have a freaking clue. Like you're just guessing. I think he'll flip flop a few times on what he actually wants to do. But if he does return to football, I honestly do think it's not going to be in a Green Bay Packers jersey.
Yeah, that's fascinating. I mean, there'd be a lot of options. I mean, when you look at what does Sam Fran want to do? Do they trust Trey Lance? Would they be willing to go out there, hike out, bring Aaron Rodgers out there for a year with Kyle Shanahan? Maybe Tampa Bay, another team where they'll have the defense, right? They'll have everything. Maybe in Miami. There's a lot of things we can get into through the offseason, but yeah, I definitely don't think he's retiring. Nothing tells me that he's going to retire. I mean, I just don't want another offseason of Aaron Rodgers. Like seriously, Aaron Rodgers, we don't give a shit, man. Like either stay or go. You got a lot of money this year. You didn't get the job done this year. Like we really don't care to spend another offseason on Aaron Rodgers and what he's going to do and his weird takes and his podcasts and all the mushrooms that he's eating and smoking.
And
We don't care.
the thing is, he got what he wanted. He got a fat contract. He got all his money, and he's still being weird. So it's like, you can't please that guy.
No, yeah, the dude's a weirdo, but I mean, the playoffs are now set. Obviously, the matchups this weekend, you got the Seahawks, Niners, Buffalo Bills, Miami Giants, and the Vikings. Baltimore plays Cincinnati rematch from last week with some better players will be on the field for the Ravens. And then you got Dallas and Tampa Bay tapping off the weekend. Actually, I think I forgot Jags, Chargers. That's probably my favorite game of the weekend, honestly. And
Yep.
we might as well dive straight into it. We got the matchup that we spoke about last week. We get the Chargers going on the road as a wild card team to take on the AFC South champions. Definitely didn't feel like I'd say that, but I mean, credit to Doug Peterson, right? He really, after that Eagles game early in the season where the fumbles with Trevor Lawrence and they kind of sputtered a little bit, right? But then they hit their stride late. They played great football. Believe they've won 5 in a row heading into this. They made the last game of the year, obviously, against Josh Dobbs, a little closer than I'd like. I rode with them at 6.5. I thought they would kind of just beat up on Josh Dobbs, put the Titans out of their misery, but they kind of didn't do that. Credit to Josh Dobbs for kind of staying out there, keeping things closer than I thought for both of his starts. Honestly, he kept games closer than I thought. So what do you make? The Chargers, 2.5 point favorites. Obviously, Mike Williams ruled out. Dumbass Brandon Staley, meaningless game. Throws his guys out there. Fracture in the back. I did hear. I mean, it's likely through the AFC run, it's over. If they make the Super Bowl, Mike Williams would probably be back. How likely is that? But yeah, so Chargers still 2.5 point favorites. It might have dropped to 1.5. They're going into Jacksonville. What do you see here? I love the quarterback matchup, but yeah, I mean, I'm leaning Jags, but I'd like to hear your take.
Yeah, this is 100% the playoff game I'm most excited for this weekend. We get two young stud quarterbacks going at it, and two young rosters that are finally, making some strides. The Chargers barely missed the playoffs the last couple of years. This is Trevor's first real season because he had Urban Meyer's first time, and all of a sudden they're both in the playoffs. You got the Jags hosting it as dogs. I'm all over the Jaguars here. I like them plus 2.5. I like a money line. I trust Doug Peterson in this situation much, much more than Brandon Staley. I'm not going to speak about which quarterbacks I trust. I think they're going to both come out, maybe, a couple bad throws, but I think they're both going to play really, really good football. Like I expect both offenses to be pretty damn good. I can't believe Brandon Staley played his starters last week against the Denver Broncos, and now he doesn't have Mike Williams. Just absolutely foolish, foolish move. It might end up costing him. That's another reason. Like I just don't know what the Chargers are doing sometimes. They have so much talent, and like Brandon Staley's, I think he's still a good head coach. Like I like how he calls plays. I like how he's aggressive, but like he doesn't know the boundary of the line. Like he makes some poor decisions, and Doug seems to know it well. We saw him do a Super Bowl run. We saw him make a divisional run right after that. Like Doug knows what he's doing. I really like Jacksonville here, and in their first matchup, they were able to run the ball really, really well. I think James Robinson was still on the field for that game. He ran for over 100 yards. I expect Travis Etienne to have a really good game on the ground. I think Trevor Lawrence is going to throw for 250 plus. Like I think these Jags are going to do really, 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 really well. It's going to be all about slowing down Mack and Bosa for the Jags defense or Jags offense, excuse me. And then I think they're gonna be able to run the ball really well. So like I'm honestly all over Jacksonville. With all that being said, I expect Herbert to sling the rock and keep it close and competitive. I expect it to be a one-score football game. And honestly, it might come down to like whoever doesn't make a mistake, whoever has the ball last. But with that being said, like I trust Trevor and Doug Peterson much, much more than I trust Herbert and Staley right now.
Yeah, I mean, I won't go as far as including the quarterbacks, but I mean, when I look at this matchup, I'm all over the Jags too. I like them at home. I like where they're coming, 5 straight wins. They kept the momentum. I like where they used the guys against Houston, right? They have a young group. They didn't take Trevor Lawrence off the field. They let him play, made it out healthy, kept that momentum going into last week, win the AFC South, and now they're here at home. But yeah, I mean, I trust Doug Peterson to have his guys ready in a position in a playoff game a whole hell of a lot more than I do Brandon Staley. We saw last week amateur moves, having the guys out there, loses Mike Williams. We've seen in the past just a lot of amateur stuff and big moments out of Brandon Staley. I do, as you said, I like him as a head coach. I just don't like him in big moments just yet. He seems very ballsy, and when he gets ballsy, not a lot of it has worked out for him up until this point. Credit to him. I mean, he was on the chopping block. He scratches out a playoff berth. I don't know how that'll affect him, right? If they go down to Jacksonville and they lose, where does he go? I mean, it looks like the Broncos are nearing in on Sean Payton. That would be their number one option, right? So I don't know if Sean Payton's going to sit around. I don't know if the Chargers would be willing to give up picks to get Sean Payton to the from the Saints, right? But yeah, I mean, I trust Doug. I think they're going to be able to use the run game. Travis Etienne is going to be out there. I think Mike Williams is really going to limit no Mike Williams is going to limit Herbert's weapons, right? It's going to be, I mean, you're going to look at probably double-digit receptions for Austin Eckler. You're going to have to pump double-digit receptions for Keenan Allen. It's going to limit the weapons. I trust Justin Herbert, right? I love Justin Herbert. The arm is there. I love everything that he does. But I got to go with the more experienced coach, a guy that's won a Super Bowl, a guy that's been in the playoffs, hot team, hot quarterback. Travis Etienne should be able to have a day on the ground. The Chargers, I mean, they're notable for not being able to stop the run. They have issues against it. Doug knows that, and they'll get their guys out there and win. I do expect a close, fun ball game, right? 2.5, I think, is a good line. It's going to be right in there, nitty gritty, probably up until the last possession. But I'm going with Doug Peterson, man. He's kept the run. I really like Doug. I like what he's done in year one in Jacksonville, and he's really created a foundation going forward into the future with this group. So I mean, it's a big win. They should roll out with a big playoff win, and all around a massive, massive success from what looked like walking out of Philadelphia and after a string of L's, not very good.
The one thing, though, for the Chargers is that they have those two pass rushers that completely wreck the game in Bosa and Mack. And, like, if you're the Chargers, you come out super, super aggressive, try to take an early lead, force Jacksonville to throw more than run. Even though I love what Trevor's doing, like, if you just give Bosa and Mack enough attempts to tee off at them, they could definitely have some game-changing plays. But that's a lot of things that go right in the Chargers' way, game script-wise, and I just don't see it. I think Doug's going to have that team ready to go, the running game. And I like the Jags a lot. And historically speaking, like home underdogs do very well in the playoffs. So like I like Jacksonville money line quite a bit.
Yep. Let's see it, Doug. Right. I do think Herbert. I mean, if it comes down to Herbert, he is the one dude, right, that could sling and steal a game on the road. But I mean, I like where Doug Peterson and the Jags are going into this postseason. Let's move on. Sunday, or actually, yeah, Sunday, we have a Giants Vikings 3-point spread in Minnesota. I don't know, like, right? I look at this game and it's like, I don't know what to make of it. It's like the Vikings, everything tells me the Vikings should win. The Vikings should win. They should win. But it's like, will they? And it's, I don't know. So, I mean, what do you make?
I love that you just started with I don't know, because like to this game to me is like a total coin flip. I am leaning Minnesota. They're at home. They only have to win by a field goal if you're doing the spread. I like their offense quite a bit, but like I've also been a Giants hater this whole year. Like I don't think they're that good. They had a great start to the year. If you look at their last 10 games, I think they only won like 3 of them. That doesn't take anything away from this season. Brian Daboll has done a great job with his Giants team. I think Brian Daboll's going to have this team ready to go. I don't think they're going to turn the ball over much. And this Vikings defense has been absolutely horrific. New York's going to be able to do what they want offensively. They feel like they're a better football team. They lost to them the first time around. It was a damn close game. So New York's coming in extremely confident. I think this is the public's favorite like underdog for the week. And like everything I looked at has been pretty damn split down the middle between Minnesota and New York. To me, this feels like a coin flip. I'm going the Vikings. They're at home. I love their offense way more than I like the Giants offense. And if it's a close game, believe it or not, Kirk Cousins has been fantastic in the fourth quarter this season. Phenomenal in close games this year. So I think that does benefit Minnesota as well. I think Justin Jefferson's going to have a day, and like I'm simply leaning Vikings. I think this is going to be a barn burner, lots of points scored. And I think it's going to come down to like maybe whoever doesn't make a mistake. But like Brian Daboll's done a great job of limiting the offense's mistakes. So if the Giants come in and get an upset, I wouldn't be surprised. But like, I don't really know what to do with this game. I'm leaning Minnesota, but it really does feel like a coin flip to me.
No, it's extremely tough to pick. It's like I sit here and everything in my mind and my heart says, yeah, dude, the Vikings, like they're at home. They're not going to go out like this, right? Everybody's hyping them up at 13-win team. But I don't know, quite frankly, like 11-0 in one score ball games, like they're just like they feel like the flukiest 11 and or 13 and 4 team I've ever seen. They're 8-1 at home, right? We know the Giants, what they're going to do. They're going to game manage Daniel Jones. They're going to try to run Saquon Barkley. It took like a 60-yard field goal to beat them when they played in the regular season. But I don't know. I mean, I'm gonna roll with Kevin McConnell. I don't feel good saying it because I honestly I like Brian Daboll. He's probably the coach of the year, right? It sucks Nick Sirianni won't get it, but he's probably the coach of the year guiding this Giants team to the playoffs. He's somehow done a masterful job. But I mean, with Daniel Jones, 15 touchdowns, 5 picks. At some point the game, he's gonna have to do a little more, and I think it's gonna be this Sunday where he's gonna have to do a little bit more. And I don't think it's gonna be there. It should be close. Kirk Cousins, he'll be able to find Justin Jefferson. Dalvin Cook will be able to do his thing. And I think the Vikings, they'll squeeze out. You won't feel good about them. We'll probably be saying the same thing next week as they head into the divisional round. Like, when are these guys going to lose? But I think they live to see another day. I just nothing can tell me, like sitting here right now or just sitting looking and thinking about it all week, that like the Giants are going to win. I don't say it. And now that I do say that the Vikings are going to win, like here's where the Giants come in and find a way, right? Round
Yep.
2, you give Daboll another shot. And they'll find a way to force turnovers. But no, I don't. I think Kirk Cousins, they come in locked in and they win this one. I mean, it'd be dicey. They lose this. It's like, really, what do you do? Can you come back next year with Kirk Cousins at quarterback? I think they'll be able to live to see another week. They'll win a close one, 24-17, maybe a good ball game. I think it will be a lot of fun out there with Justin Jefferson, Saquon Barkley, and all those guys. But I don't know. This is like the trap of the week. It feels if you're looking at a wild card game, right? It's a weird one. I don't know.
100%. This is the parlay buster. Like, there's gonna be a lot of parlays broken on this damn game on Sunday. But I mean, I just firmly believe Minnesota has a better roster than the Giants do. I think they should win. They're at home, but man, I don't feel good about it.
Yeah, better roster, home field, and they got the quarterback if the game came down to it. I don't love Kirk Cousins, but you have to trust him over Daniel Jones, right? If you need to throw, I'm taking Kirk and Justin Jefferson over Daniel Jones and whoever's out there for the Giants right now at wide receiver. But let's keep it moving. The Funniest one, Monday Night Football, the Dallas Cowboys. What a great year they've had. They've had such a good year. They did all this. They beat us. They did that, and they draw Tom Brady up, who's I believe he's 6-0 against the Cowboys in his career. It might be 7-0 now. I think it's
7-0, I
7-0
think.
after Monday night. Yeah, after the season opener this year. They draw Tom Brady, so it's like I sit back and I've had multiple people this week even ask me, are the Cowboys going to win? Are the Cowboys going to win? Are the Cowboys going to win? And I'm like, they should, right? If I had to give you a percentage chance, it's probably 70-30, right? The Cowboys should win this game. They have the better roster, the more complete team. They can run the ball, they can throw the ball. But it's Tom Brady, right? You're facing Tom Brady. Tom Brady's at home. He squeaked his way into the playoffs in 8 and 9 years. It's been ugly. We saw the Panthers game, right? I think a lot of people were trying to buy into that Panthers game, and I'm like, that's one dumbass team that literally played single coverage on Mike Evans. Nobody
Yep.
else did that all year. You're probably not going to see it in this game. The pass rush, Micah Parsons and those guys, DeMarcus Lawrence, they should be able to get after Tom Brady and cause some havoc. But then it comes down to Dak Prescott. He threw 15 interceptions this year. Yeah, 15 interceptions, league lead or tied for the league lead, I believe it is. And he missed 5 games, right? So you're looking at if he played those 5 games, he's probably 20 plus on the year. He's been a turnover machine, right? With all due respect. They're 2.5 point favorites going into Tampa. Dak and Mike McCarthy. Are you taking Dak and Mike McCarthy in a playoff game? They're another team that's hard to like sit there. They should win, but everything tells me, like I said it for this past week, I'm betting Bucs money line. Like I'm gonna take Tom Brady, I'm gonna take Bucs money line, and just ride with it because I can easily see a couple duck balls out of Dak Prescott, and then Mike McCarthy on the sidelines with his dumbass look as he coaches his last game for the Dallas Cowboys on Monday night.
Yeah, this is an interesting one because like when the hell are we doubting like a 12-win team versus an 8-9 team that like it doesn't make a lot of sense on paper, right? And I'm clearly biased. Like I'm not a Cowboys fan. I'm rooting for the Bucs. I'm leaning Bucs 2.5. I'm going to take the Bucs as well. Money line. I love the spot as a home underdog. Again, historically has been fantastic for the playoffs. But it's like it's hard to make a real good case for Tampa Bay. Like you highlighted that Panthers game. Like that was poor defensive coverage on Mike Evans. Like there was like a few broken plays like that. And outside of that, dude, they haven't really looked that good. I do feel the Bucs defense can turn it up. And if it comes down to like a close game, can Tom get 1 to 2 drives going at the very end? 100%. We saw him do that multiple times. There was a Saints game where he got his ass kicked the entire time and then got 2 late drives and stole the game at the very end. So I wouldn't be surprised if the game stays close. But it's like if you're the Cowboys, like you should win this game. But like, how do you feel confident about taking Dallas when they just laid that egg against Washington last week? Like that was a really bad performance. I know, just throw it out the window. Who really cares? The game didn't mean anything. Brand new week, new season, playoffs. Sure, all those things. But like you already highlighted Dak's interceptions. The secondary of the Cowboys has been banged up compared to the start of the year, and it's like I'm leaning Bucs simply because I'm very biased against the Cowboys. The Cowboys should win this football game, but it's like everything we laid out. How do you feel good about taking the Dallas Cowboys? Like I'm riding with the Bucs. I'm riding with TB12, the GOAT. It's just either side I don't feel real good about. Like it's this game and the previous game we talked about. I like kind of flip a coin, but I'm all Bucs here clearly because of my bias. But like Cowboys should win, but it's hard to feel good about it.
Yeah, I don't know. I just it's not even, yeah, the Cowboys should win. They should win. They should win. And it's up until, yeah, they don't. I mean, I think this isn't going to be the pretty, I don't think it's going to be pretty because I think Dak is going to do his usual thing, right? Come out shaky, stupid, and just do some dumb stuff. I definitely expect another interception or two out of him. Just what he does this year. And I think when you look at it for the Bucs side, I mean, if they're sitting here practicing all week, they get into the playoffs and they realize this is probably the last run, right? You have 7 or 8 guys on defense that are going to
Yep.
become free agents. Tom Brady's probably on the way out. He's probably not coming back next year. So this is one more shot, right? And then the Bucs will go back to being what they are, right? Just a regular franchise when the GOAT walks out.
Yeah.
So I think they're going to turn up at home, and yeah, I think they're going to squeak it out. I like 17-14. I think Mike McCarthy's going to be sitting there looking stupid. I think Tom Brady's going to lead a drive when it really counts and get the job done. It's weird. Yeah, it's tough to see Dallas, who they beat us 2 weeks ago, but as you said, they laid an egg last week. Even the Titans game, they won 27-13, but they didn't look good in that Titans game. It
No.
was against Josh Dobbs, and they did not look good at all. They diced us up only to lay 2 eggs, and I think the final egg will be coming on Monday night, and I think it's gonna be hilarious to watch. But I mean, yeah, I'm riding Tom Brady at home. I don't think the Dallas Cowboys. I think I read haven't won a road playoff game since 1992. It's been a while. It's not changing. Brady's 7-0, soon to be 8-0. But yeah, it's hard to take Dallas, man. It really is, and they had a great year, right? The roster's there. They should win, right? A little bit of bias out of me. I'm rolling with the goat, but they should win this game. I already said at the top, probably if you ask me percentage chance, 70% chance they should, but will they? It's sad that you have to look at a team that was, yeah, that 12-5 has looked great at some points in the season, and you're saying, man, they should beat the 8 and 9 Bucks who have looked like trash
Exactly.
outside of one week. But yeah, they just, I don't know. I think Tom Brady does it again, moves on, and he lives to see another day in a Tampa Bay Bucks jersey. And then I cannot wait for the Tuesday morning headlines, right? Because Jerry Jones, he really dodged that question too when they asked him about Mike McCarthy's job future. He kind of ducked and dodged it. But if they lose Monday night, he's gone for sure. But it's dicey. I think inside that office, even if you're Cowboys fans, you're like, damn, do we have this year and we draw Tom Brady in the first round? I just hope we can get by Brady, and I don't think that they do it.
I think you nailed that score prediction of like 17-14 because like if the Cowboys win, I feel like they're going to put up quite a bit of points. Like, and that's a realistic possibility. They're a better football team. They should win this game, like we keep saying. But like if the Bucs are going to do it, which I think they are, I think they got a damn good chance. Is going to be like 20-14 or 20-17, something around there.
Yeah, because the Bucks, I mean, they don't play pretty football, but they'll have the pass rush getting after Dak. He'll do something stupid. He doesn't really run anymore. The front should be able to contain the run. I mean, that's it. If you're a Bucks guy, you have to contain the run, right? You almost
Yep.
want the ball in Dak's hands and say, let him do something stupid, right? Let the quarterback who everybody hypes up do something dumb, and when it really matters, which he's done all year. But it should be fun, right? I think it's at least a fun. They picked a good game for a good matchup, obviously ratings wise. Get the Cowboys on Monday night by themselves against Tom Brady and the GOAT one more time. They picked a good one. I do like that this is closing out the wild card weekend, and then we prepare right for the divisional round. So let's swing on to our pick. We kind of changed it up. We did picks against the spread all year, and then we kind of got to the playoffs, and we were like, there's no point in really picking playoff games against the spread. So we went just straight outright picks this week, and I think we did this once other even on the spreads where we aligned straight across the board. But we're pretty much, I mean, a lot of these are formalities, right? Like the Bills aren't losing at home to Skylar Thompson. Geno Smith had a good run. They're not, the 49ers aren't losing at home to the Seahawks. Vikings, that's a close one. Bengals, no Lamar. They should get the job done. And then we rolled Jags and Bucks. Yeah, any insight on these other games that we kind of didn't touch on at all before we kind of wrap up Wild Card Weekend? And I just look forward to tuning in tomorrow, right?
Yeah, the Bengals should definitely get the job done. If we're looking at spreads, I think they're 8.5 points. That is a gross Vegas number. The Ravens defense plays the Cincinnati Bengals very, very well. I think they should have their backup back because they played the third string the last matchup, and Cincinnati won by 11. The line is 8.5. Yeah, good luck picking that. I'm not comfortable. And then the Niners are 10-point favorites, which have been bet down to 9-point favorites, and the Niners will win this football game. I'd be very surprised if they lose, but I'm not gonna lie. I like Seattle +9, +10 quite a bit because you got Pete Carroll. He's going to have that team ready to go. It's a third matchup. It's very hard to beat a team three times. The first matchup they would have covered. The second matchup they lost by 20, but it was that Thursday night game. There's a 14-point swing, like right at the end of the first half. I just think Seattle's going to be ready to go. If Kenneth Walker can't run the ball well, then forget everything I'm saying. They have to run the ball well to be able to cover, like just straight up. That's going to be the toughest task because I'm really not worried about Geno. We keep talking about Brock Purdy being his first playoff game, which worries me spread wise as well. But this is Geno Smith's first playoff game as well. Obviously, he's been around much longer, but I think those are interesting dynamics. And I would not pick Seattle money line at all, but like the spread is really enticing to me. I think they have a damn good chance to cover the spread.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm on the other side of that 49ers one. I will say that. I like the points on the Bengals. I would stay away from that. I don't like that division teams like that. I don't know. They're just with John Harbaugh, well coached. But I don't know. The 49ers, I think they have so much talent on that 49ers team, even if it's Brock Purdy's
Everywhere.
first. Yeah, I mean, there's such a talent gap when you step on that field tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow. afternoon. That it's not going to matter, right? Like Brock Purdy, he does what he has to do, right? The talent around him is so good that he has to do very little. He just didn't do what Gardner Minshew did against the Saints. He's kind of played up to standard. The defense is crazy. Nick Bosa, probably defensive player of the year, right? He's been absolutely insane. Fred Warner, I just think Kittle, Debo's back, Ayuk, the run game with Christian McCaffrey. There's just going to be too much talent that I would maybe dabble into the 49ers spread, but the other ones, not even the Bills one. I don't know. The Bills are a weird team. Like Josh Allen starts doing stupid shit and throwing interceptions for no reason. And then the Bengals one, obviously. But the 49ers, I would take my risk on riding them. I think they're just there's a class difference out there. Geno had a good run. Hopefully he gets paid, probably a franchise tag, right? He'll get his payday. He had a great year. But I think the 49ers smoke them out of the water and kind of, they'll send you to the concession stands early to get ready for the Jags and Chargers at 7:15 tomorrow night.
That's exactly how I feel about the Bills. I mean, the spread is 13.5. What a gross spread for a playoff game. But dude, Skylar Thompson, the Bills are on an emotional high after everything that's happened in the last few weeks. They should win like 40-14. Who knows what's actually going to happen? But like, it's crazy to say it out loud. Like I like a 2 touchdown spread in the playoffs. That's insane to say, but like the Bills should definitely get it done. I mean, it's a lot of points, but come on, Skylar Thompson is starting for the Dolphins, and they might not have their offensive line still beat up as well. It's like it's all Bill. It should be all Bills.
Yeah, that's the one I'm kind of disappointed about, right? When you look at that, like if we looked at that when the Dolphins were 8-3, I was like, I mean, if you get that, if we're talking about that matchup playoff wise, if we're sitting way back then, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like with Tua out there, they played them close, right? And they beat them once, so they split. But I mean, yeah, Skylar Thompson, there's no shot. I just wish like they had some resemblance of an actual NFL starting quarterback out there. No disrespect to Skylar Thompson, but it's just disappointing because the weapons on Miami's side make it so much fun. But if you have nobody that you trust in a playoff game to get the ball to those guys, it really doesn't matter. Yeah, I'm with you. The Bills should beat the brakes off of them if Josh Allen doesn't decide to get all wild and start doing dumb stuff to kind of keep the game closer than it really needs to be. Just put the Dolphins out of their misery and move on. But I mean, yeah, that's a wrap. I think unless you have anything close, we get we sit back, watch these games, right, and then see who we got heading into the divisional round. I'm excited for that it's finally playoff time. It's crazy that the season went this fast that we're already sitting here talking about the playoffs when it feels like not too long ago we were literally talking about week one, what teams are doing this and how do we feel about each team coming off of week one.
Yeah, the season always goes by at like such a blur. It's like it's so fun when it's happening, but the weeks just fly by. But I'm just, like I said, we were talking before we started recording. I'm just ecstatic that we don't have to sweat the birds in a wild card game. They're good to go. We'll see them next week, divisional round. Very excited.
Yep, promising stuff too. Lane Johnson's out there a week ahead of schedule, right? Bye week. Probably didn't have to practice, but he's practicing. Jalen Hurts is out there, so we're kind of, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how the guys are moving around, heading in there. We'll see who we match up with. It should be fun though, right? It's playoffs. The stakes are set, right? Everybody's 0-0. None of these records matter. None of these seeds matter. It's professional football players against professional football players. The tournament has started as we talk about all year. But yeah, I mean that's gonna be a wrap for this wild card episode. Please like, subscribe, and comment. Drop any feedback in the description or add us on Twitter at Take3 Sports. As always, Spotify link if you're audio only will be dropped in the description, and we'll be back next week to dive into what happened in Wildcard Weekend. Maybe we get some upsets to talk about, and then we'll jump straight into the divisional round next week. That should be interesting to crack into those matchups as well.